It's November 15th, and we have version 77 of Descript. It's a smaller update. We only have a few minor changes, some quality of life and workflow type of things. But as always, let's talk about it. Now, when you first update to 77, you're going to get this pop-up that says help improve Descript. And you've probably seen these before from Apple or Windows or Google. These pop-ups saying, hey, can we use your data? Can we analyze your data, your bugs, things like that, to help improve our software? And so you have the option to share data with Descript or to not share. So whichever you pick is up to you. If you're more privacy and security focused, you're probably not going to want to share your data. But again, that's a personal decision and something that you'll get with version 77. Okay, the first thing has to do with organizing your drive. There are, from the drive view, a way to make bulk edits. So you can copy multiple projects or folders and delete them, move them, etc. Before, this was not an option for us, but take a look. This is the video from Descript itself, and you can see how it works. So you can select with a radio box, multiple projects. You can move it into another folder, and you can do it all at once versus having to do each one individually. The new version also gives us more features with the find and duplicate function. So now you can search for sections of text and duplicate them straight to a new composition using find and copy. And there's also an include surrounding sentence feature. So let's say you're searching for one word, you can now find the entire sentence that that word appears in and then copy that to a new composition. So you could create a clip, a social media clip or short, quickly using this function to find all the keywords that you want to make a clip out of and then copy it in that manner. And then they also tell us that this feature is going to pair with some upcoming AI actions. So I don't know exactly what that's going to entail, but they left a little teaser on the changelog about that. So here is a project. And let's say, for example, I just am going to do search in script. And then let's say I'm looking for the word Descript. This is from the course. So there's going to be 58 instances of the word Descript. It found all of them. What you can do now is go to the magnifying glass, drop down, click it, copy it. You can copy it to your clipboard. You can copy it to a composition, any existing composition that is, or you can duplicate it to a new composition, which for the sake of this, I'm going to do. And then you can use these little dial icons. And this is where you can do the include surrounding sentences option. And now when I hit duplicate all, I get this little pop-up selection added to new composition. And let's take a look. And we now have our instances of Descript copied into here, into our new composition. So this is another tool in your tool belt for those of you who make clips out of your long form videos. And the next upgrade has to do with workflow improvements. So before, when you closed a project, let's say you had your Playhead at 1:35, like I do right now. When you left the project, when you closed it, that Playhead would get reset to 0. It'd get reset to the beginning of your project when you reopened it. No longer. Now, wherever you're leaving your Playhead is where it'll reopen at after you close and reopen the project. So let's say my Playhead's at 1:37 here. And I'm working on my project, but I got to go check something else, check on a template, something like that. When I go back to my workspace view and then reopen the project, my Playhead is now where I left it at 1:37 in this case. So that's a nice little quality of life thing, especially if you have a really long project and your Playhead is 30 or 45 minutes into your project. When you come back, it'll still be there. And now the same thing applies with which composition you had open. In this case, this is a good example because I have over a dozen compositions in this project called Descript Course The Basics. And so, for example, I'm going to go to copy of introduction. Before, what would happen is if I then left the project and came back, it would default to the first composition. But now it'll default to the composition that I was working on. In this case, copy of introduction. So let me go back, reopen it. And there we go. It opens to my last composition. The next thing that Descript added is you can now use the @ key to add speaker labels in write mode. The way this works is you go into write mode using this pencil button at the top right. We're now in write mode. And if I hit the @ button, it immediately prompts me for the speaker in this project. And I have a bunch of different microphones, but I could use my AI speakers, or I could label it with whoever it is that's speaking. So just a little shortcut to getting your speaker labels input. And the last update to the workflows is that the AI actions now has a stop button that you can press while it's thinking, while it's processing. So for example, if I go into Ask AI and I could say summarize, and it defaults to what's a short summary of this script. I go ahead and process that. AI is thinking. I can hit this stop button to stop the process. Because sometimes if it's processing a lot of data, you ask it to generate some text or something like that, it can take a long time. So you can go ahead and stop that and just cut it short without wasting a lot of time. Another little tweak is that before you could just do a search for a blank space. And since there's hundreds of spaces between words in your transcript, it would find hundreds or thousands of results. And that's no longer an option, because why is that useful for anyone? And then lastly, there was a bunch of bug fixes. There's an issue with remove from transcript where it would break the script alignment. They fixed that. They fixed an issue with auto scrolling. They fixed an issue causing script pens to change location after editing the script. The biggest of which, though, is probably an issue causing the recording hotkey to fail to launch on Windows. Other than that, they were more just minor little quality of life fixes. Okay, that is version 77. I'll be back very soon with version 78.